Welcome to MetaTrader educational video series. My name is Muhammad Azim and this video is brought to you by fxclearing.com. Inside this video tutorial, I am going to talk about built-in MetaTrader 4 line studies for the sake of chart analysis. This is the 1 hour chart of euro dollar currency pair. This is the cursor which is by default selected. If I move my cursor along the screen, you could see the values are changing right at the bottom of horizontal scale. Now click on View and select Data Window. Let me zoom in a little bit as well. Now if I select cross here, see what happens. You could see that values are changing inside data window. These are the values: open, high, low, close. If I want to check the open, high, low and close price of any candlestick, then just use the cross here and you could see, for example, this is the candlestick and you could see the values, the open, high, low and close. Next we have different line options. Okay, this is the vertical line tool which draws a vertical line on a price chart. I could draw a vertical line on a candlestick and you could also see the date and time as well right at the horizontal scale. Next one is the horizontal line tool which draws a horizontal line on a price chart. For example, this chart area looks like a good support. When you draw a horizontal trend line, then it also shows the value of a currency pair. Next we have trend line. I can draw a trend line by selecting two reference points. This trend line is sloping downwards and I could also draw a second trend line. This trend line is sloping upwards. A trader could draw a trend line with an exact angle as well. In order to draw a trend line by angle, click on Insert, go over to Lines and select Trend Line by Angle. For example, I could draw a trend line by angle over here, or I could draw an upward sloping trend line as well. Insert, Lines, Trend Line by Angle. If I click over here, you see the angle of this trend line is 33.9. You could also add trend line by angle inside the line studies bar. Just right click over here and select Customize. Next you can see available line studies. Here is the trend line by angle. Just select it and click on Insert, and now you could see the trend line by angle over here. You can also rearrange these line tools. For example, I want to move trend line by angle near to my simple trend line over here. Okay, so let me just select trend line by angle and hit the up button. Okay, click on Close, and now I have trend line by angle right over here. Now I have a simple trend line tool and I also have a trend line by angle tool as well. If you do not see line studies bar, or if you have accidentally closed line studies bar, then you can easily get it back. Let me first close it. This is the line studies bar. In order to get back the line studies bar, click on View, select Toolbars, and next select Line Studies. Now I got back my line studies bar. Let me place it back to its place. In order to delete one line study, just double click on it and select it. Now right click and select Delete. In order to delete all of these line studies, just right click anywhere on a price chart and select Objects List. Next select and delete. Select delete, 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 and delete. Click Close. Next tool is the Channel tool. Let me draw a channel on a price chart which clearly shows an uptrend in euro-dollar currency pair. Next we have Fibonacci retracement. I will explain about Fibonacci retracement and other tools related to Fibonacci in next lesson. Now if I draw a trend line, there are multiple settings that I could change. In order to make changes, you need to first select the trend line and then change the trend line properties. I am going to share with you two different methods to open trend line properties window. First method is to just double click on a trend line via mouse and this will select the trend line. Next right click and select trend line properties. This opens up the trend line properties window. Second method is to right click anywhere on a price chart and select Objects List. Next select the trend line and click on Edit button. In this way you will manage to access trend line properties window. Let me change the trend line color. I like to use blue color for the trend line, and I want to change the trend line style as well. Let me use dotted style for my trend line. Just click on OK, and now I have changed the trend line color and style. I want my trend line to end right over here. Let me show you how to fix this. Just double click to select, right click, go over to trend line properties. Under the parameters tab, this is the ray option. Uncheck it. Click on OK. Now the trend line has reduced. Now I can easily drag it way over here. I want to change the width of this blue color trend line. So just right click, click on Objects List, select the trend line, click on Edit. Under the Common tab, click on Line Settings and let me increase the width. Now if I do this, automatically the trend line style changes to default, which is the solid line, which is okay by the way. Click on OK, and now I got the trend line with desired width. If I change the time frame, let me switch over to a 4 hours chart. I could see the trend line in a 4 hours chart. Now I do not want to see this blue color trend line in a 4 hours time frame. I only want to see this trend line in a 1 hour time frame. So in order to do this, just right click and go over to trend line properties under the visualizations, and I'm going to just check H1, which means 1 hour time frame. Click on OK. Now if I switch over to a 4 hours chart, I can't see the trend line, but if I go over to a 1 hour, I could see the 1 hour chart displays the trend line. Let me change the settings to default. Just right click, go over to Objects List, select the trend line and check mark it, show on all the time frames. Click OK, close. Now I could see the trend line in all time frames. Okay, The main purpose of using line studies is to analyze price action without using technical indicators. However, in order to correctly draw trend lines and other line studies, a trader needs some practice and experience. This concludes our lesson. Risk disclosure, end user license agreement. I hope you have enjoyed this video tutorial. If you need more trading information, visit fxclearing.com. Thank you.